Well, the temperature, it's heating up, right? Now is the time to get that air conditioner replaced. So our next guest is here with a special discount. We're going to explain how all this works. This is Ray Higuera. He is the general manager with Precision Air and Plumbing. And I'm so good to have you here because, you know, I just turned my AC on for the first time recently, right? Which it's early in the season. But you know what that means? That means it's going to be working harder and longer this summer, right?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about those who might be on the cusp, right? Thinking about a new AC, we've got this tariff looming over our head. What does that look like cost-wise for us?
So for everyone else in the industry or in the market for buying a new air conditioning unit, that means prices are going up.
Okay.
We've received notification from a lot of the distributors that starting April 1, there's going to be a price increase on our end, anywhere from 5 to 20%. So what we've done is we've negotiated with those distributors to keep that pricing for the month of April, so that way people that are in that position right now that don't know whether or not they want to replace, they're kind of on the cusp, they can still take advantage of pricing and discounts right now for the month of April.
Okay.
We're the only ones that are doing it.
All right. Well, thank you for doing that. So if you have any issues at all, now is the time to get that checked out.
Absolutely.
You definitely don't want to be without heat in about 2 months, or cool without 2 months from now. All right, let's talk about when you get, so there's this law that's changing, or I shouldn't say law, but it's preventing us from having an old refrigerator or refrigeration unit for a long time. So it's a new refrigerant that's happening with the new units. So if we have an old one, we can't replace it with just the new refrigerant stuff, right? We have to start all over again?
Yeah, so basically the way that it kind of works, it'll be similar. We previously had another refrigerant probably about 10 years ago that they started to phase out.
Okay.
And bring in the 410A refrigerant. Those parts and that refrigerant we'll still be able to get for a period of time until they start to discontinue and move those parts out.
Okay.
But what happens is you can't interchange that new refrigerant with what you currently have. So in the past, people were able to, you know, replace one part of the system. But if you're going to move to a newer piece of equipment and it has that new refrigerant, the whole thing has to be replaced. So if it's just parts and pieces for the time being, you guys can replace those parts and pieces. But moving forward, if you want something new, the whole thing has to be replaced.
Okay, as long as all those parts and pieces are available.
Correct.
Okay, eventually phasing out altogether.
Yep.
All the new units have the new refrigerant.
That's correct.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, let's talk about if somebody has a concern about their AC, what should they do? Give me the process. You guys show up and what are you looking at?
So a couple things that we're looking at is we're going to be looking at overall, is the system performing the way it's supposed to? Is it holding pressures? Has stuff started to leak out? Once you start to get a leak, that's usually a domino effect of a lot of problems that you're going to have moving forward. We're going to look at how efficient the unit's running, the motors, all the components that are within inside that piece of equipment. And at that point in time, we put together some different options for a customer and say, hey, your money's better spent in either repairing this or maybe it's better in replacement because you don't want to throw good money at a bad problem.
And I appreciate that you do that because not everybody can afford to do a whole replacement, but if we can hold on to it just a little bit longer, right? But the last thing you wanted to do is break down in the middle of summer, like I said before. Tell me very quickly about the difference in pricing because there's a lot of AC companies out there to choose from.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this is a topic that comes up all the time, right? People go out and they get multiple quotes from various different companies and they may be buying the same piece of equipment, same model number, but it's a different price. Why is that? Well, what you're paying for is you're paying for the quality of the installation. You're paying for all the things that are supposed to be done on the new equipment when it's installed. People think it's like a toaster oven where they can just plug it into the wall.
Plug and go?
No. And it's not really that simple.
No, you need to have the pros behind you telling you exactly how this all works. Thank you so much, Ray. Really appreciate the information and the discounts, by the way, because they have a special offer for you from Precision Air and Plumbing. Call now and you're going to get 35% off all AC units. Now, some restrictions may apply, so you got to call and talk to them about it at 602-FIX-MY-AC or precisionairandplumbing.com.